through my application, which is called Harpy. And Harpy is a healthcare industry application designed specifically for benchmarking. And Harpy contains data that is directly obtained from the Centers of Medicare, and it is actual data that is filed by any institutional healthcare provider in the United States. This data includes facility characteristics, utilization data, cost and charges by cost center in total and for Medicare, Medicare settlement data, and financial statement data. And like I said earlier, this particular data is obtained directly from the Centers of Medicare, which is a government organization. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the application. The application is a single-page application used specifically designed using Vaadin 8, and it's going to be moved to Vaadin 10 plus shortly. And it's been a very satisfying experience for me, somebody who doesn't really know Java that well, to use Vaadin. The application uses basically either you register, or if you already have a password and you've already registered, you can log in. I've already put in the username and password, so let's go ahead and log in. Application authenticates you, makes sure that you are a valid user, and if that's the case, it'll let you in. Let's talk a little bit about the application layout. This particular area on the left panel is basically the selector panel, and made for selecting the data for a given institution or given institutions. The data display area is in the middle, and this particular area, which is eventually going to be used for charting and scorecarding, etc. Mostly graphics is what this area is going to be used for. This particular area on the right is the current selections area. It gives the user feedback on what they've selected, what reports they have, and each report is user specific. So different users may have different reports. So this area allows them to look at their reports as well. Features to this application, and as you can see, this is a single page application. This is a search area for those who understand the Medicare cost report system. Just a quick note, it is basically a very convoluted report, the cost report that Medicare asks institutions to file. It's virtually impossible for somebody to go through that report and try to extricate, for lack of a better word, the data they need. This particular application allows click and point capability and search capability to be able to get that data, as you will see. At any rate, this is a search. This allows you to search the report for any text. There are filters. Filters allow you to choose the institution if you've given any specific type of filters. And yeah, so anyway, let's get started. A user would normally come over here and open one of their saved reports, and that saved report can be accessed by clicking on the folder. All the reports are listed here. If you click on any of these reports, it'll open the report by clicking like that and then just saying OK, because it needs to get rid of the filters. Now that the report is up, you can see there are tabs which represent specific worksheets. Just to kind of mention, if you right click on any of these folders, you can rename them, add a folder, that kind of thing. You can do the same kind of thing to the reports. You can rename them, you can delete them, so on and so forth. At any rate, this particular report, if you want to look at the selection, it's telling us that on the column we have these line sets, or this set. On the row we have this particular line set, and you kind of can correlate that, and on the page it's listing the worksheet or whatever you have selected in this particular selection. So basically the user can tell what they've selected. At any point, if they want to save anything, they can come over here and save the report using this save area, this slider here. The user also has full capability of changing axes. So let's say if we wanted to switch the axis between the columns and the rows, we can come over here, select any one of the selected line items, right click, and you can see now we have a pop-up window which says, you know, what is it that you want to do? Select an axis. All right, I'm going to basically say, I want you to move this so basically it's asking me, row is already selected. Do you want to swap row with column? I'm going to say yes. And the moment I do that, it has now selected it, but you do need to update the data because it needs to make a call back to the server and grab the data again. And now, as you can see very quickly, it has changed all the data from rows to column. And you can switch any one of these actually if you want. I could say, you know, switch this particular column now onto the page, and I'll say yes, and I'll say close. I'll update it, and we should have that switched over instantly, or at least pretty fast. And here we have the data that's been switched over, and you can kind of see that as the user switches it, it changes. The rows now have the worksheet numbers, and it basically does not show you those data that are not that don't have any values at this point. So you basically have the values that have data in it. In other words, the null value is not going to show up in a row or column. It'll be swapped out unless there's at least one cell in there. So that's the general idea behind the application. Now, if you were looking for something specific, let's say within the, you wanted to find out, well, geez, you know, are there any hospital, where can I find the word bed? Because I want to know, you know, I want to look for this line called bed. You simply put the text in there and do a search, and the application will go through the entire form set and the text values within the cost report and grab every intersection where you can find that particular word, bed. So it's going to look through it and it's going to pop it right there for you. And there's your answer. So basically, it's saying that every hospital, standard lines are on every hospital. So it's saying that I found 5,600. On the standard line, it says it's found the word bed in 42 distinct lines in 27 distinct worksheet, and it lists the worksheet number, the line number. So if you wanted to select this, for example, you can come over here, simply go into the worksheet, and you can, for example, locate this worksheet D1, which is listed as part of the tree. Here's your D, and if you look at D1, it says D10A051. It so happens that in the standard selection, the system will match the first two characters and the last character, and everything in the middle in this particular worksheet consistently repeats the same description. So when you have a 0001, basically on any one of these worksheets, you will get this 1000 line will contain this description. So just to give you an idea, you can quickly search. It also tells you hospital specific information. For example, Vermont Psychiatric Hospital on worksheet A00 line 9200 has this word bed appearing in it, and it's in the city of Berlin in Vermont. So if you wanted to go grab that hospital and see what's in there, you could literally go in there. And I say hospital, but because this just happens to be a hospital, but it could be any institutional, a SNF, whatever you want to call it. So it's in Vermont and it's in Berlin. And there we have Vermont Psychiatric Care Hospital, and this one is 548327, and this one is 548327 right here. So you can, if you click on it, it has selected that hospital now, as you can see right here with this little symbol. So that's one way of doing it. There's also another way to search it, which is basically the filtering. The filtering, what it does, it gives you those values of those institutions that fit within that specific set. So let's say if I wanted to look at hospital bedside between 30 and 50, you can say 30 and 50, and then you can just simply say, get these hospitals for me, and it will search it for you very quickly and find those and make them available to you. So basically, when you did that, it said the selected filters yielded 831 hospitals that filed a cost report for. So basically, anybody with bed size of, and you can look over here, status bed size 30 to 50, 45, 35. You can sort this however you want to. You can look at it on any column. This particular symbol is for the scorecard, which is something that we're building and should be available in the next few weeks. Probably be available by the time you guys watch this video. So basically, the application is simple to use. It gives a very rich answer to your question. Allows for an unstructured report to be built, and all in all, if you want to export any of this, you can just just select export, and it will export the data for you. So if you said export, and then you have to select the line. So I'm going to select these two lines in this case, and I will say export. And after exporting, here's my data. You can see here's your your B001, and then you can take it into Excel or whatever to compare it. So that's generally the idea behind the application. It's easy to use. It's very simple to use. It's not very complicated. It provides you with the longitudinal data for all the way up to 2010 and all the way into 2018. It provides you horizontal data for approximately 6,500 institutions, in this case hospitals, and any number of SNFs that we're going to be getting from Medicare. And the application itself is robust. It's intended to be a Craigslist. It's not intended to be Microsoft Word where it's fancy and stuff. It delivers what it promises and delivers it robustly. We don't have any drag or drop, designed to be non-drag and drop.